Hey Leo, welcome to your weekly forecast for May 18th through the 24th. We're going to check in with this deck here and see what's coming up for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising in the week ahead. And we're going to pull a spirit message for you all from this deck here. So without further ado, my dears, let's connect here and see what's happening for you guys. Do keep in mind we've got Venus in retrograde right now. And Venus in retrograde can bring up some feelings. It can take people down memory lane. It can cause people to feel a little sentimental or think about ways in which they want more security in their life, what security means to them. But we're going to see what's coming up in the cards for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising in the week ahead. So without further ado, my darling Leos, let's see what you have coming up. Your first card here is the Judgment card. Okay, you guys have had some big energies coming up for you all in the weekly forecasts over the past couple of weeks. You guys have been ready for some really big changes. Okay, not surprising. We have really big planetary shifts happening right now. There's a lot of ascending, a lot of awakening happening. And Leo, you guys are starting off the week here or coming into the week with the energy of the Judgment card. Now, this is a major arcana card. So those of you that watch my readings, you've heard me say, when the major arcana cards come up, this isn't going to be something that's going to be happening for a day or two or for a week. This is like a new phase, a new chapter. You're coming into like the next significant chapter of your life. So major arcana cards are going to come up when what's happening is directly linked to something we came here to master, something we came here to do. It's life purpose energy, growth, learning, development, ascending, accomplishment. It's a very defining period of our life when we see the major arcanas. So the Judgment card is going to be about like feeling called to do something, feeling called to do something more meaningful. It can also be a card that comes up when you're looking around and you're looking at the people that you're aligned with, and you might be feeling like, you know what, this person is not quite getting it. This person maybe is just kind of like they're not growing or they're a little stagnant. A lot of the times when I'm doing a private reading for a person and they're asking me about a situation or a relationship, if the Judgment card comes up for them, it's usually an indication for me in a reading that the people or the situations that you are dealing with are not as awake as you are. They haven't woken up. They're not on the same level. This is not to say that we judge anybody. This is not to say that we're putting them down or saying one is good or one is bad, or it's just you all aren't on the same path. So Leo, I almost said Cancer. I don't know if some of you are dealing with a Cancer. I almost said Cancer. Leo, some of you are in the energy of feeling like this person is just not, they're not getting it. They're not waking up. They're not seeing it. And so you may be feeling like, I can't carry this person. And this is interesting. I'll tell you why. The vibe and the energy that kept coming up for you guys in the previous weeks was you were tired of being taken advantage of. You already had that awakening. You already had that awakening. You already know that. You're ready to be appreciated. And now you're having another phase of awakening as it comes to cleaning house. And you've already seen who the users are. Now you're seeing who the drainers are, who the people are that are just like you're trying to help them, and they might mean well, right? They might have good hearts. They might not be, bad people or negative people. They may not be, intentionally trying to cause you harm, but you just might feel like, man, this person is like drowning, and every time I try to rescue them, they fight me. They don't let me rescue them. They start pulling me down. They start pulling me in. So you're realizing that you're kind of having to distance yourself from certain people, from situations. You're having to part ways. And so this might be one of the things that you're beginning to process in the Venus retrograde energy. For the different signs, Venus retrograde, trip down memory lane, examining relationships, it's been bringing up different issues for different people. And Leo, for you guys, I feel like what's coming up for you, you guys, the majority of you, most of you have already done a pretty good job at figuring out who the people are in your life who are users. And you're not doing it anymore. You're done with it. Now, like I said, this next phase is you're realizing and you're seeing who's awake and who's not awake. Who's trying to make changes and who's not making changes. And I feel like what's happening, Leo, is you guys in this Venus retrograde energy, you're feeling hungry to align yourself with individuals who are bettering themselves, who aren't looking to be rescued, right? Who, just like you, have picked themselves up and dusted themselves off. And they have motivations, they have goals, they're working to grow and to be of service. And so you might also be feeling called for more meaningful connections, more meaningful relationships, whether they be business or friendship or romantic. You're wanting more purpose and meaning in your life. You're done with the small talk. You're done with the drinking buddies. You're wanting true connection, true purpose. You're wanting to work towards something greater, something important. That's what I feel in this energy with this card for you all. Your next card here is the Queen of Swords. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Because Queen of Swords is very much a card about boundaries. And like I was talking about how there's just certain people that we're cutting off or we're distancing ourselves from. Some of you could be dealing with an air sign. Air sign would be a Libra, a Gemini, or an Aquarius. So there could be that factor. Or if you have air in your chart, that might be coming to the surface for some of you in the week ahead. However, the Queen of Swords for me is an energy about being assertive. And the thing that I really love about the Queen of Swords, she's very clear about what she wants in her life, right? When she speaks, she's not going to stutter. Like, and I'm not putting anything down about anybody who stutters. What I mean to say by that is an expression. Maybe I shouldn't have used it. Maybe it's insensitive. But what I meant is, like, she's not going to hold back. She's not going to hold back. She's not going to second guess it. She's not going to have fear about expressing what she wants, right? She's going to be able to say it very clearly. And she's going to be able to be in an energy of being able to set limits. Being able to set limits and being able to be in an energy of anybody who's in the way, who's blocking her or who's in her way or who's doing things that are working against her. She's going to eliminate that association. She doesn't have time for it, whether the person means to or not, right? Like, you guys have been on this kick for a while, Leo, where you're like, well, you know what? I'm not going to tolerate disrespect. I'm not going to tolerate people who are using me. And that's wonderful. And now you're realizing that, okay, you know what? I don't have to feel sorry for people, right? If they are having a negative impact on my life, or if they're draining me in some way, even if they don't mean to, it's okay for me to kind of disconnect. It's okay for me not to take that phone call, or, you know, not to, you know, invest my energy into that situation. So Queen of Swords could be about setting healthy boundaries in that way. It's also, some of you in this week, Leo, you might be finding ways in which you have been losing time. You know, like losing time. You're becoming more effective with your time. You're cutting out certain habits or things, or you're finding quicker and more effective ways or efficient ways. Efficient is the word I'm looking for. You're finding more efficient ways of doing things. You're getting things done more quickly, more efficiently, and this is taking a lot of strain, a lot of weight off a lot of your shoulders. Your next card here, my dears, Leo, is the Hermit. Okay, now the Hermit could definitely be Virgo energy. If you've got Virgo in your chart, that could be coming to the surface. Some of you may be dealing with a Virgo. Okay, and so with this Virgo, there may be a very strong past life connection. And this Virgo may have a soul contract with you where there was an agreement that you all were going to meet in this lifetime for a specific reason. Okay, if it's not a Virgo, if it's some other sign, if you do feel like you've got something happening where you're like, man, there's just something about this person, whether it's a family member or a boss or a friend or a romantic interest, you just feel like, man, this person's in my life for a specific reason, or there's some unresolved issues here. The fact that the Hermit is coming up can indicate that this person is trying to teach you a spiritual lesson, whether they realize it or not. Like, when I feel like, man, what do I have to figure out from this situation to be done with it once and for all? It's trying to teach you about who you are, what you believe, what's important to you, you know, your connection with your higher self. And so for some of you, the person might be coming in a way where they're actually trying to teach you. They're trying to mentor you in some way. They're trying to give you some guidance. And maybe for some of you, it's off-putting or annoying. But, you know, this is their way of trying to show that they care, or trying to show that they're being there for you. For other ones of you, the Hermit is more you and yourself, Leo. You're realizing who's been using you. You already realized that. You're realizing who's draining you, or who's just taking a lot of your energy or time, or making you feel guilty about stuff, whatever it might be. And you're like, I need some time to just kind of recharge. And so when the Hermit comes up, we might be very much like the content little caterpillar. You know, the caterpillar went out into the world and had its fill. It had a good old time, right? Like the Hungry Little Caterpillar book, the Eric Carle book. It went through, and it had its little feast, right? Until its tummy ached. And then it was like, it is time for a nap, right? It like went into the cocoon. And so, Leo, some of you are feeling very full with life, with the experiences that you've had, especially if you're a Leo who has partied, right? Or who has lived a life of opulence, or even maybe for some of you, not all of you, maybe you feel like you've had a life of excess, or you never liked to you know, deprive yourself, right? You may have had your fill. And now a lot of you might be feeling like it's time to process all of this. It's time to take a little bit of a break. It's time to rest. And, you know, when we're in that caterpillar going into the cocoon, the transformation begins, right? And when the caterpillar comes out of the cocoon, it's never going to be the same again. The butterfly is going to reach places and see things that the caterpillar could never even have imagined, right? So there could be some kind of thing where a lot of you maybe are kind of surrendering to this, you know, staying at home situation. Maybe before you were fighting against it, or you hated it. And maybe some of you now are like, you know what, I'm embracing this. I'm embracing this to kind of go into my cocoon, you know, put myself back together again. And you're going to emerge from this like a new version of yourself. Okay, some of you may be stepping into a spiritual path, preparing to be a teacher or a leader to others, to teach others what you have learned, you know, from your experiences. Some of you may be seeking out a spiritual teacher or mentor as well. Those are the different ways in which the Hermit can apply. And because this is a general reading for thousands of people, I try to go over the various ways that it might be coming up for you guys. So here we have the lovely Leo energy. Here you are, Queen of Wands, right? This is fire sign energy. So it could definitely be you, Leo. You might be dealing with another fire sign. Now, Queen of Wands could indicate some of the qualities or characteristics that some of you are stepping into as you're going through the Hermit phase, okay? The Queen of Wands is very sexy. Okay, and this is going to apply to you whether you identify as male or female or something other than that. There's so many classifications. I don't mean to leave anybody out, but, you know, and I don't want to like mislabel either. So regardless of how you identify in terms of your energy, even though we see a female or feminine energy here, it's still going to apply to you, because the qualities and the characteristics are, this is someone who's very sexy, somebody who's very passionate, somebody who is self-made. Okay, and I want to focus on this, Leo, because some of you definitely do not come from a privileged background. In everything you have had to work very hard for. You've had to create for yourself. If you are a Leo who does actually come from a privileged background, you might be feeling very driven to make your own way. Like, I don't want people to look at me and say, oh, well, you just have that because of who your family is, or you just have that because your parents, or this or this or that. Like, you might be wanting to make your own way if you are someone from a privileged background. You're wanting independence in that way. But the Queen of Wands, you know, everything she has worked for. She's sexy, she's independent, she's funny, she's the life of the party. And she's very independent. And a lot of the times this card will come up in readings for me when someone's really fed up, like when they've just kind of had enough and they're ready to create opportunities for themselves, right? Like, you're tired of waiting for the phone to ring, so you're finding ways to keep busy, you're finding things to pursue, you're being a little bit more persistent, right? Queen of Wands might not take no for an answer and just be like, oh, okay, all right. Well, why? You know, like, let's give this a chance. Let's talk about this. You know, like, I think that, you know, we can make this work, or I think that this might be a good situation. Like, she's not going to be afraid to face something and talk about it, or even negotiate it. So some of you might be coming into this energy, Leo, where there's like more of a confidence and you're just tired of taking crumbs, or you're just tired of working your butt off and making other people rich and not having any benefit for yourself. So you may be creating opportunities. Queen of Wands is definitely a card that comes up for me in readings when somebody is stepping into self-employment, successful self-employment, or climbing up the career ladder very, very quickly. It's like that dark horse energy, right? If you know what a dark horse is, it's a racing term from like horse races and stuff, that, you know, there's going to be certain horses that everybody's betting on. Oh, this is a fast horse and I think this horse is going to win. The dark horse is the one that's going to come up out of nowhere and surprise everybody. They're going to take the race like nobody saw it coming. Nobody was counting or betting on that horse. And it just came in with a total upset and just, you know, took the trophy. And Leo, some of you are coming into that energy. People haven't been betting on you. People haven't been counting on you, but you're going to come up out of nowhere and you're going to take that prize. You're going to take that trophy. So that is that's definitely energy that comes up here with the Queen of Wands. We're gonna go ahead and pull a spirit message for you guys, and keep in mind, my dears, please be sure to watch your moon sign and rising sign video. Some weeks those are going to resonate with you more than others. You may need a private reading, which I'm more than happy to do for you. If you want to click on the Calendly link, you can schedule a private reading with me there. So here you have Miss Sunshine coming up for your weekly forecast. Very appropriate, Leo. That sun energy, that fire energy. And so this is going to be about optimism and new beginnings. Now, I encourage you to look at the card and look at the symbols and colors and see what's jumping out at you. This is a really great way of taking a general reading and making it a little bit more personal to yourself, okay, to your experience or your situation. So here, what I see, the stars for me is signifying listening to your intuition, following your inner guidance. The little crescent moon to me is, for me, a symbol of manifesting or calling in, like when a new moon happens and we're calling in new energy. That's what I think of when I see the crescent moon there. But the creator of this deck here has this card as a symbol of energy, courage, and clarity. Okay, so this is about like the energy of life. This is about setting intentions, positivity, having mental clarity. and being able to kind of come out of darkness. And that's a big theme here for your weekly forecast. So this is kind of confirming that for you guys. You guys are coming out of, you have the clarity and you're coming out of that darkness, right? You're emerging to shine, to be appreciated, to be respected, to receive. You know, that's definitely the energy that's coming up around you guys, my dears. So again, watch your moon, sun, and rising sign videos. Some week it might resonate with you more than others. A lot of you are asking me about the giveaway. You know, I have not chosen the winner yet. For those of you that don't know, I'm giving away a private reading, a free private reading, and I'm giving away a brand new copy of the deck that I used in the May love readings. So one person will win the deck and one person will win a private reading with me. I'm going to pick one winner from Facebook and one winner from Instagram. You don't have to submit for a drawing. There's really like no special way to enter. I'm just going to pick people from the comments and the likes on the social media. I'm just going to go through the likes, go through the comments, and whoever just kind of pops out at me, I'm going to pick one winner for the deck and one winner for a private reading. And I've decided I'm going to do this from now on every single month. Every month, one person will win a private reading. One person will win a some kind of a giveaway. It'll be a tarot deck or a crystal or a piece of jewelry. It'll be different things, but there'll be a prize and there'll be a private reading every single month. So all you need to do is be there interacting on the social media to be considered for those. I'm going to pick the winner for May in the next week or two. Please keep in mind, Leo, if you do end up winning the tarot deck, and if you are in a country outside of the United States, I have no issue mailing something internationally. I don't have a problem with that. But the winner for April is in Africa. They're in Botswana. And when I went to the post office to mail them the card deck that they won, the post office told me because of what's happening right now, Africa and Botswana, they're not accepting any mail from the United States. So if your country has a restriction, not all countries do, if your country has a restriction and is not accepting mail from the United States until this whole situation is resolved, then there will be a delay getting you the deck. Obviously, if that happens, I would let you know. I'd reach out and say, hey, I went to the post office and your country is not accepting mail from the US. So just be aware of that. I do want you guys to know that. Anyway, my dears, thank you for watching. If you guys want the astrology breakdown and the astrology guidance and information, the folks at Truly Divine are still being very generous, offering you guys the unlimited 30% off with the Angel 30 discount code. So check them out. They're linked in the description as well. I thank them again for sponsoring the channel and for providing a really great service. A lot of you have been telling me that you've really enjoyed the report that you got from Truly Divine, and I did too. I was pretty impressed with them, so I'm glad that you guys have an opportunity to get that discount off the already reasonable prices, because I'm not an astrologer and I don't want to give anybody incorrect astrology information. If you want a card reading, an intuitive card reading, you know, I'm more than happy to do that. So I thank you guys for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Take care, my dears. Bye, Leo.